We are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Love Talk. My name is Angel Thomas, and I am your host. Here on Love Talk, we have real conversations, real healing, and real love. Today, we are with the beautiful Marquita, who is a returning guest. And I'm just so excited, Marquita, because all month on Love Talk, we have been talking about finding the strength within. Today, we're talking about rediscovering your inner power. So I'm just happy to have you here. And I just want to say, welcome to Love Talk.
You.
So let me ask you, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I am excited, blessed for this opportunity, and just at all that I am returning. That speaks a lot. It
It
does.
does. It really,
Yeah.
really does. And I want to get this out before we get into the heart of the conversation. I just want to give you your flowers. I told you privately once before that I see you. I love your glow up. I love how you're showing up for yourself. But I want to do that publicly. I just love to see just this light that you have. You always had, don't get me wrong, you've always had this light, but it's just something different about you now. And I see it. And I want to encourage you to keep going. It's just this self love that I see about yourself. And you're doing it. And I want to encourage you to keep going, keep pouring into yourself because it's seen. I see it, and I know everybody else sees it from your TikTok videos to your inspirational posts to your testimonies through your transparency of showing of showing up even when it's hard, talking about the loss of the baby and just pregnancy and all of that, just everything that embodies Marquita is beautiful. And I just want to give you your flowers.
Thank you. Thank
You
you
are
so much.
you are so welcome.
Thank
So
you.
before we dive in, I want to do a rapid fire. So I'm going to ask you a couple rapid fire questions and you could just answer them quickly. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Okay, so what is self-love for you?
Um, Loving yourself, putting yourself first. Sometimes being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Discipline, accountability, because you have to hold yourself accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Showing up for yourself, finding out who you are, what empowers you, and
Mm-hmm.
building yourself.
Okay, I love that. Let me see another one. Rapid fire. What is one thing that instantly restores you?
My faith.
Oh, yes. And we're going to talk more about your faith later on in the
My-
conversation today. So, what is your favorite self love affirmation?
you are enough.
Mm, I love that. Last one. Describe yourself in one word.
Mm. Oh, um, courageous.
I love that. And I have to say, I think that is the perfect word for you, courageous, because throughout everything that you go through, your courage really shows up. It really shows up, especially like I said, in the way you carry yourself. So I definitely think that's the perfect word for you. And let's get into these comments. I see your husband is in the in love talk tonight. We have, let me see, Nortisha Stokes. Did I say that right? Let's
Yeah,
see. We
that's my.
also so beautiful. Good evening, beautiful ladies. Both Nortisha said bold. Oh, I love that. And one of my favorites is be bold, be beautiful, be you. So that's right on brand. So today
Yeah.
we're talking about rediscovering your inner power. And I was thinking about who can I have for this segment. And Marquita, you instantly came to mind because, like I said, I just see this light in you, and it's always been there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the light has never been
Right.
there,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's a different type of light. And being that we had a conversation before 3 years ago, and now you're back, I really feel like a different Marquita is showing up. And just it's amazing. Just look at you today. You showed up. You
Yeah.
showed up. So
Yeah.
let's get into these questions today. So when it comes to discovering your inner power, how have you gotten to the point where you're really discovering who Marquita is?
So first, I had to build boundaries
Mm,
because I am a person that always wants to show up for others, always there for others. When it comes to my marriage, people know who I am. When it comes to my family, people know who I am. But I realized when it came to me, I had no clue who I was. So I had to build boundaries and put people in the places in my life where they belong. And once I started doing that, I started to I feel like I got my power back, because when I didn't have boundaries, I didn't have no type of power.
Mm.
So once I put up boundaries and put people in the place where they're supposed to be, and met people where they were or left them where they were, um I got my power, because then I was in control of what I put up with or what I dealt with.
So one thing we always talk about is boundaries, but I think people don't realize how hard it is sometimes to put up those boundaries, especially when, like you said, you used to showing up for other people, you used to showing up as a wife, as a daughter in different areas of your life. But like you said, it's hard to show up for yourself, and putting up those boundaries can be difficult. So how have you maintained holding on to those boundaries, especially when it's something new for you?
Counseling,
Mm.
therapy. My therapist holding me accountable.
Hmm. So what is
Uh,
what is what is something that we can walk away with that can help us hold or maintain those boundaries that we try to put up for ourselves?
if they are not able to understand who you are, um, if you pour out more than you're filled up, then that's really not someone that needs to be in your life. If they're
Mm.
not able to respect your boundaries, then that's someone that doesn't need to be in your life, because your boundaries is your boundaries. Your yes is your yes. Your no is your no. And when it comes to a point where that is not respected, then you make peace and walk away.
Yes, I love that. And look, your mom is in the comments saying she's in her mission, glowing and growing. I absolutely agree, Miss Ella Bob. That, and that's your number one supporter right there. I love
Yes.
your mom and your husband, definitely your number one supporters. So I want to kind of talk about your faith a little bit, because I know how important God is in my own walk, in my own life. And I know the power of God. So tell us how God has really played such an important role, a pivotal role in just your whole life altogether.
So it started from when I was younger and being sick. And of course, we know that doctors are there and stuff. But there was a moment where I told my mom one day, I said, Mama, I'm tired.
Mm.
I was tired of being in a hospital. I was tired of being poked. I was tired of taking medicine. And I said, Mama, I'm tired. And in that moment, God came in. Um, there has been many times that the doctors have given up on me.
Mm.
In 2019, when I had my total colectomy, um, I was so sick and so weak that they told me that if they would just if they would just put me on that table, that I possibly would not get up from that. But I knew that the God I serve wasn't ready for me, because if he was ready for me, he would have took me in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
There's been times where I thought I was going to lose my mind, because people don't understand that when you are sick, when you go through things, not only does that mess with your physical, but your mental. And where God really showed up was in 2023, when I had my ectopic, and I got to a point to where I had no clue what to do. There was a moment where I was ready to be admitted, because that was some pain that I just couldn't understand. But once I put it all in God's hand, once I like really, really submitted to him when it came to my pain, he showed up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like when the way that I've been moving, I've made sure that I have not made God look stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
there are times that we can move in certain ways, and uh it doesn't it doesn't, show right for God. But
Uh-huh.
um through this all, I know that man could never heal me from the inside out. I
Mm.
know that man could never give me another chance. I know that man could never give me a silver lining when it comes to losing my baby. I know that man was not the reason that a baby was even able to make it halfway through my tubes.
Mm.
I know that was nobody but God. I know that when I laid on that table and they thought that they were just going to take one tube, but they had to take both tubes, I
Mm-hmm.
know that that was God. That that was God. That was nobody else. You know what I'm saying? I even woke up that day and I was ready to get it going, get it started. But of course, I had no clue what was coming. But God sustained me through that time.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And I wanna bring up something that you posted on Facebook. I think it might have been yesterday or today. You said that it first it was you posted a picture of your windshield. You said
Hmm.
first it was your tire, now it's your windshield. And you said I'm gonna just kind of paraphrase. You kind of said like God kind of had to check you, and be like, it's because of me that you're able to get these things fixed. If I believe that's how you worded that.
Yeah.
Um, so I love how, first off, I love how you're able to kind of see where God, well, not kind of, how you're able to see where God is in the midst of the storm. Because it's
Yeah.
so easy to be in a storm, to be in a dark place, to have things happen to us back to back to back, and we like, God, why? Or we like, we just get all in a frenzy. But for you to
Yeah.
say, it's because of God, and even in the moment of your windshield and you're tired, and you had that moment where you're like, okay, God, you were able to give me these things. You know what I'm saying? So how have you been able to, even in the darkest of the darkest moments, those moments where you're like questioning God, or you're like, why me, God, in those moments? Because those are the moments that a lot of people are going through right now, with the government shutdown, of child loss, of death in the family, of financial hardships, whatever it may be. Somebody that is watching Love Talk right now is in. How have you, or what advice or what encouragement can you give them that give them the strength that they need to move on and know that God is in control? Just give them some words.
So um this didn't come from me, but Prophet Juice Anderson the third. Um Yesterday in his sermon, he said so many of us are worried about, the government shutdown, not getting food stamps, but we don't even understand that God is about to show us how he moves.
Hmm.
He's about
Hmm.
to show us the miracles that are about to happen, because at the end of the day, whether they do the emergency or not, God is allowing that to happen. The shutdown, God is allowing that to happen. The cutoff of the food stamps, God is allowing that to happen. Nothing happens
Hmm.
without God's hand.
Hmm.
Sometimes he might take his hand off a little bit to show us, hey, I'm the big dog. So I say, if you're in a moment of despair, sit down and look back at a moment of despair you had before and see that you made it over. Because you
Hmm.
can be in a moment of despair right now, but you was in a moment maybe a couple of months ago. How you think you got out of it?
Hmm. That's right.
God did it. So if he can bring you to it, he's not going to just leave you there. You know what I'm saying? You can be in a valley, but you're not in the valley by yourself. You can be in a valley, but you're not going to stay there. Like, there's always a purpose for what God does in our life. It's never just, oh, let me do this for her. Let me put her in this situation. We we're always going to learn from a situation we're in. But
Mhm.
my advice is have a relationship with God, because you can just do your devotion like Prophet said, and that hit me because I've been just doing devotion and kind of skipping over everything. But this morning I read my devotion, but I also took time to get on my knees and pray. And when I tell you, God did so much for me today, things that I was worrying about how I was going to handle, somebody paid something forward to me, and it shocked me.
Yes.
And I didn't think about it. And I had to take money out of my savings to fix my tire. Like I
Mhm.
said, I was upset because I had to touch that money, but God is the reason. I had to take money out of there, but because somebody paid it forward to me, I only have to put a little bit back in my savings to cover what I took out because somebody paid it forward to me. So put God first. Die in your flesh daily. You hear me? You gotta, when you don't want to, you gotta do it. Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do, but we're not doing it for us. We're doing it because of the purpose that
Mm.
God has for us.
Yes. You better come on, Marquita. You better come on. And look at there in the comments say you speak so well, so intelligent, so beautiful. Amen. Amen. Oh, look. Oh, amen. 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 Yes. I love it. Oh, my goodness, Marquita. I'm going to continue just to give you your flowers and to pour into you because you pour so much into yourself just based off what I see on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. And I just love the process. I really, really am in love with with your process because again, you always had that light. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you didn't. You always had that light, but right now I see the self love. I see the time and the effort that you're putting into yourself. You're in the gym, you're working out, you have your puppy. Oh my goodness, everything is just so beautiful. So let's kind of just talk about just this self-love, this glowing that you have, this process. So again, you've always had that. I'm gonna keep emphasizing you've always
Yeah.
had that. But this newfound Marquita, how did we get here?
Um, I had to uh I had to go back and find out who I was after I got out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Because um my husband, my now husband, was boyfriend then. We got together right out of high school. I graduated May of 2013. We moved in together 2013. Got married in 2017, and ever since I've been a wife. Um, I never got the chance to experience just who Marquita is. We're like this, so
Mm-hmm.
we always do stuff together. When it came to me being sick, it was me and him. If my mom or my brother wasn't able to show up, when it came church, like you see us together. You see us together. So I had to take a step back and redefine myself because I can't be a wife, I can't be a daughter, I can't be a puppy mom, I can't be an auntie, I can't be a best friend if I have no clue who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just taken the time to find out, okay, what characteristics would you have had then? What type of movement would you have had then? Like taking myself to breakfast, going to the gym by myself because that's my me time. You know what I'm saying? Um, Getting my dog because he gives me a purpose that children give parents.
Mm-hmm.
So Ziggy gives me that purpose that, as a pup mom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I've just put myself first, literally. Like you have to put yourself first, you have to be selfish. And there's sometimes that you're going to be put in places to where you're going to have to make decisions that don't seem good, don't feel good, but at the end of the day, it has to happen for growth to happen. You know, like that you gonna be down. You're gonna be in the dirt. What they say, you're gonna be in the trenches. But you know, reconstruction, like I said, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta
Yes.
be broken down for reconstruction to happen, for you to rebuild yourself of who you are. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I wear the name Marquita Wiggins. I wear the name Quita. I wear the name Desiree. But when it comes to just Marquita, I had no. I had to redefine. I had to find her. I had to redefine her. I had to, you know, start showing up for myself. Like
Mm-hmm.
once I got my breast reduction, that definitely helped because that was um one of the things that really messed with uh my my mind, my
Mm-hmm.
body, because I really couldn't see my beauty like other people like, oh, you're still beautiful, but in my mind I'm like, yeah, I'm beautiful, but this is doing something to me.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got my breast reduction, um I was able to really start loving myself, because I really couldn't wear the clothes that was normal. You know what I'm saying? I had to wear bigger sizes that I really didn't even need. But because of my breast, I had to do that. Um, but just redefining myself, um, putting myself first. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Sometimes you got to go through things by yourself. Sometimes you got to be like, all right, let me shut everybody out. It might seem harsh, but sometimes you got to shut everybody out and be like, okay, this is about me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, you don't stay in that, because once you come out of that you've worked on yourself, put yourself first, then you could start putting people in place. But at some point in your life, you gonna have to shut everybody out. You have to be like, listen, this is about me. Give me some
Yes.
space. And then you start rebuilding. And once you start rebuilding, and the people you have those boundaries with, they
Mm-hmm.
will come in and they will either help you rebuild, or I don't know, for some reason, maybe the last 2 years, this has been my go-to. And it's
Mm-hmm.
never like it's never like anything shady, but I've always put like the heart and the peace. But
Uh-huh.
for me, the peace means like you either love or you peace, one or the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So loving yourself, putting yourself first, because at the end of the day, once you are 6 feet under,
Mm.
yes, people are going to mourn you, but they're going to still go on with their lives at the end of the day.
Yes.
So
And I'm trying to hold back my smile, Marquita. You can't see my arms, but I have chill bumps because this is what I do for a living. Okay. This is what I love to see. To see a woman pour into herself, to love herself, it brings me a different type of joy. And like I said, I told you these things privately that I see you. And again, I'm gonna keep saying it throughout this whole love talk publicly that I see you. And to say that you had to step back and figure out who Marquita is, that's big because a lot of women, they don't do that. We don't do that. And I
no,
too, I just now am getting to the point where I'm finding out every day I find out who Angel is, what Angel likes. But it's a different type of feeling when you're walking in your power. And I
yeah,
want to encourage all the women out there watching this, all the women who are going to watch this. I don't care if you're in your teens, your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, however old you are, it's never too late to find out who you are as an individual. And I just want to give you your flowers again for even taking those steps to do that. But I want to ask you a question, because even when we find out who we are and what we like, it's excuse me, it's so easy to go back to what's familiar to us, to that people pleasing for me, to that
mhm,
putting everybody before ourselves, to not having boundaries, to accepting anything, to that version of us that didn't really serve us but got us, that survival version of us. That's what I'm gonna call it.
yeah.
So how do you, I know you said boundaries, but how do you fight? I'm gonna say fight. How do you fight to maintain this newfound version of Marquita when those habits want to come back, when those thoughts want to come back, when those things that want to bring you back to what's familiar show up? What do you do?
I when I want to go back to those moments, I realize why I left those moments. When I think about those moments, I kind of feel the pain. If I see something familiar that I'm like, yeah, I could feel that pain, and it reminds me that that's somewhere you don't want to be. Therapy, that is my number one thing. I see my therapist every week. She holds me accountable. She reminds me when I said I didn't want to deal with that no more. Um, she holds me accountable. That's the biggest thing. Because when you have somebody on the outside that you are able to talk to, that is able to help you, but
Mhm.
also hold you accountable, that, hey, listen, this is why you left that. Hey, this is why you don't want to deal with that no more. So are you going to continue? Um, One thing my therapist told me, she said, everybody seems to be doing the same thing. Like, um, their routine is the same, you know, but who keeps switching up is Marquita. And
Mm,
she said, if you want to see a breakthrough, it has to start with you.
I see why you
So
go to her.
yeah, it has to start with you, because people will continue to do what they do to you because you continue to let them. But
Mm,
once you put up that boundary and also see that they are going to continue, you so unfortunately, the type of person I am, I kind of allow people to continue doing the same thing to me over and over again until I am broken down and I know and I really, really can't deal with it. But ask yourself, okay, why do I need to put up this boundary? When you see why you need to put up that boundary, if you got to put it on your mirror and that's something you read, if you got to put it in your phone as a reminder to remind you, okay, I put this boundary up, and then you see why, and you be like, okay, is that something I want to do? And it comes with your peace. It's like, do I want to have my peace, or do I want to be a people pleaser?
hmm.
That's literally
Okay.
what you have to ask yourself. Do you want your peace, or do you want to be a people pleaser?
Hmm. Okay. So what I want you to do now is I want this version of Marquita to give a message to the past version of Marquita.
Hmm. You did the best you could. You survived in places that could have took you out.
Mm.
We have survived the pain. We've survived. We are thriving. Um, it is okay to be alone at times. How you feel matters. You don't have to stay somewhere just because they love you or they care for you. You don't have to check in with somebody all the time. Don't give of yourself. Um, because we gave of ourselves, and unfortunately, that is one of the reasons why we are having to rebuild. But I want to tell you, the old Marquita, that we made it, and we are going to keep making it. And who's here is here, who's not is not. Oh, Marquita, show me how to get back to God like I was before. Show me that that ain't what I got to deal with. That I could say no, that I don't have to. And I love you. And I thank you for getting me through some of the rough times of my life, some of the deadly times of my life. And it's because of you that I'm able to have self love because you went through the real hard times. And I love you, girl.
Yes, Marquita, I did not intend to cry tonight. But that was just so beautiful. They started out as soon as I even thought of the question and you started answering. When you was just looking around, my eyes just started filling up with water because it's such a beautiful thing to talk to our past selves. And I have a picture of my younger self as my screensaver. Just hearing you say those words to yourself, it did something to me because first off, it takes strength. It takes
Mhm.
strength to be able to talk to a version of the past version of yourself. All the versions of ourselves live within us. The baby, the toddler, the child, the teen, the young adult, all of it lives inside of us. And it comes out every day. That's why Love Talk is about real conversations, real healing, and real love. And I think tonight we really talked about these things.
Yeah.
And for you to share that with the world, oh girl, I'm shaking. It's just so beautiful. And I want to thank you for even doing that because that's not easy. You know,
Nope.
I asked you to do that and I ain't never did that. I don't think to the world like that. But I just want to give you again your flowers, Marquita. I see you. I'm here for you. And I'm just loving everything about what it is that you have going on. You have a lot of, you inspire me so much in the comments. Thank you, Marquita. I see you more now. That was from your mom. And somebody said that's the best message. I said it all the time. You are so strong, cousin, full of grace. You are, Marquita. You are. Oh my goodness, you're so beautiful. You're like I said, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Your light has always been there. It's
Yeah.
always been there. But there's a different light that I see in you now, and I just want to continue to tell you to just keep going. And I don't know if we touched on all the topics. There any other topic that is on your heart tonight that you want to talk about?
Um, when it comes to the ladies, advocate for yourself because there's no one that will advocate for you like you. When it came to the loss of my baby, the reason why was because I had so many surgeries with my Crohn's disease that I had a lot of scar tissue. So, um, and that was a couple of years ago. My doctor had to go in because of a pap that I had. And he kind of seen that my tubes were kind of blocked, but it really didn't set off an alarm. But I'm guessing as I grew and had my last surgery, that probably really made it worse. So, and when I say ladies, I mean teens on up. If you're teen or you have Crohn's disease, if you have issues with your ovaries, if you have issues with fertility, fibroids, anything, I ask of you that when it comes to the teens, talk to their doctors because they could be on some medicines when it comes to their Crohn's. When it comes to anything, they can be on some medicines that could definitely make it harder for them. And I really wish that, uh, even though, and I used to blame my doctors, like, why didn't they have this conversation with me? Why they didn't do this? But I had to realize that at that moment, it was more important to save my life. It was
Mm.
more important for them to take certain things out of my body so I could have the fulfilled life that I have now. But I ask of you that if you have teens, or if ladies in general, get with your OBs. And if you know you've had surgeries of any kind and you are desiring to have a baby, please have conversations with them. I always said that I prayed that God would make a way for me to speak. So what happened to me wouldn't happen to somebody else, because yes, it could have been prevented, but there were more important things. So I
Mhm.
ask that you get your body checked, that you advocate for yourself. If you feel that something is not right, please, 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 because the week I went on a cruise on the from the 20th or the 21st to like the 26th.
Mhm.
And I found out I was pregnant the 20th. Well, the week after that, I felt pain, I felt pain, I felt pain. And I called them and I said, "Hey, I'm spotting." And it was like, "Oh, it's just a bladder infection. It's just a bladder infection." And I was like, "You sure?" And it was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay." But I made sure everyone, when I got up, I said, "God, let your will be done." So when you feel something is not right in your body, I'm the type of person, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and forth with the doctor, the nurse, anybody, because at the end of the day, it's my body. I know what feels right, what doesn't feel right. We know our bodies, so therefore, don't ever let anybody tell you that you're tripping, that is not right. Ask for another opinion.
Mhm.
But I ask that advocate when they start having their period. Advocate for them,
Mhm.
not just for birth control, for pregnancy prevention. No, advocate for them so that when that time comes and they want to conceive, that nothing blocks them. Now, no matter what we do, yes, God has full control. He already has it in the book. He already knows it's going to happen. But faith without works is dead. We have to advocate for ourselves as women,
Mhm.
as Black women. We have to advocate. So that is what I have to say.
Yeah.
Advocate, always ask questions, and make sure that you are going to the doctor.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you so much for those words. I am definitely, definitely a huge person, a huge advocate for advocate for yourself. So I'm definitely in agreement with you on that. Somebody said you've definitely been a help for us tonight. Thank you, Marquita. I see you. And I just want to again tell you how much I see you. You're amazing. You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. You're intelligent. You're smart. And continue to pour into Marquita. Keep giving
Oh,
us those videos on TikTok. And we heard you back there, Ziggy. Keep posting Ziggy. We love Ziggy too. Keep being who you are, Marquita, because you are definitely needed in this world. You are amazing. You're an advocate for everything that you're going through. Everything that you're going through is going to be a textbook for the next person who's going to need it.
yeah.
So keep showing up for yourself. And I want to thank everybody that tuned into Love Talk tonight. Thank you. And again, Marquita, thank you for your patience. We usually start at 7. We started at 7:30 today, but thank y'all so much for tuning into Love Talk. If you're here on Love Talk now, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to subscribe to our YouTube. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and with your help, we will definitely get there. We go live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we love your support. We love y'all. I love my guest, Marquita. I love you. Thank you. She's a
I love
returning guest,
you.
y'all. You are always welcome on Love Talk. And I'm just so proud of you. And before you go, let everybody know where they can follow you so we can go see these videos on the daily.
You can follow me on TikTok at Mommy Ziggy and Mommy. Um, I am on Instagram as Quita underscore Des, and Facebook Marquita Wiggins.
Yes, I'm gonna make sure I post all of that. I'm gonna put your clips up and all of that. Again, I did not intend to cry tonight, but Marquita, you were speaking some real things. Hey, Miss Ella Bob. Hey, Jay. Hey, KD. I think I said that right. Thank y'all again for tuning into Love Talk. Again, make sure y'all subscribe to our YouTube. And with that being said, y'all make sure to choose you today. And wait, before I go, y'all, next month on Love Talk, we are talking about generational healing. It ends with me, and I am looking for guests. If you feel like you're in alignment with that, definitely hit my DM so that we can get it together, get it scheduled, all of that. And again, subscribe to the YouTube. Thank you so much, Marquita. Thank y'all for tuning in. And remember to choose you today. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Peace.